health, real estate, music, interviews, surfing, conspiracy theories, or alien abductions. Ready to main character your own content? We can make it happen with Turnkey Podcast Productions from 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Our local, modern, state-of-the-art multimedia recording studio is now available for booking, starting at just $100 an episode. Take your fandom to the next level. For more information, text the keyword studio to 850-215-6290. Text studio to 850-215-6290. Text studio 215-6290 or jam over to ESPNPC.com. Bruh.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Stand by. On my mark.
You survived the workday. Now survive the truth.
Don't you want to have the best 12 teams in college football playing each other?
It's time for the hardest hitting 2 hours on the Panhandle.
I love it. You're coming through. You got it, baby.
Now into the huddle with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz.
It is a joyous day. I love your show.
From the Emerald Coast to the edge of the atmosphere.
You gentlemen lift us up every day.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Time it is. It's Tuesday, and you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, your place for college basketball. Don't forget, tonight, Auburn versus Vanderbilt. Right after the show, 6 o'clock is tip-off. They will be jumping it up right as we get off the air. So glad to have everybody here today joining us, and we're pumped up and ready to go, ready to have a great show. And we are excited. We got some guests in here. But first of all, we got Jeffrey back in the building, still straight off his world traveling from Disney World. Jeffrey, you still acclimated back into Panama City weather?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You good to go?
100%. Yeah, so much. Actually, I came back and it was warmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
It's feeling good.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's people hitting the beach. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. As always, on a Tuesday, we got Bone Crusher in the building. Bone Crusher, how you doing today?
I made a new decree. From now on, the drive-through line is 10 items or less. Just like the checkout.
No.
You got more than 10 items, you got separate orders, go inside.
But what if I want a milkshake and I don't want to have to go inside to get it and spill it and all that? I just want to grab
10
it.
10 items or less, you can go through the drive-through.
Okay, all right, deal. All right.
Paul, you're young.
I am.
You're the younger generation for sure. You're like, whatever, whatever you can handle. You know?
Thanks, Jeffrey. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we got rules, me and Bone Crusher.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Well, we are today joined by the head basketball coach of the Bay High School Tornadoes, Coach Minman. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic. And I'm going to let you introduce who our other guest is because obviously you know him way better than we do. You've changed his diaper several times in his lifetime for sure. Obviously not changing those anymore, but go ahead and introduce who's with us.
Yeah, so I brought one of my players, also my son, Maddox Memon, who's he's been a staple of our program for 2 years and going on to the next level. So we brought him with us today and very proud of him to where he's at right now.
Yeah, Maddox, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Well, it's glad to have you. And, obviously you're excited. We're excited. And we would like to say congratulations to you because we know that you're going to be stepping off into the next level, playing basketball on the next level. And that's exciting. Tell us where you're going and give us a little preview of what position you're going to be playing and kind of how all your recruiting went with that.
Yeah, I'm going to be going to Bob Jones University in South Carolina, Greenville. And over there I'm going to be playing kind of a big wing, small forward kind of role. Well, they play a lot of zone over there, so he sees me playing the lower block in the zone, but I could stretch out to the wing, kind of play both positions, and then on offense, mainly corner, wing type of role there.
There you go. So as far as your recruiting goes, was that your only offer? Did you have other offers during your time of being recruited?
I did. I had, I think, about 8 or 9. But after going through all the schools and everything like that, I feel like, I got along really well with Coach Miller over there, their head coach and their assistant coaches. And, yeah, I felt like that was home for me, like a second home.
Yeah. Dad, I'm talking to you as a dad now. How special is that for him to come play for you, and then now you get to see him fulfill a dream of his that he's worked so hard for, to be able to go on and play at the next level? I don't know what the percentage is. It's very, very low to be able to have an opportunity to even play at the next level. So talk real quick about that, how important and how great it felt to be a dad, being able to be on the front row to witness all of this and him being able to get signed.
Yeah, it's been really exciting. I think it's 3% actually. That, as far as basketball players that to go play at the next level at any level. So for me, it's been, it's been great. It's kind of hard to separate dad and coach sometimes. So
yeah.
To really enjoy it, I don't think it's really sunk in yet. We watch a lot of his college games. They're actually going to be in town this week playing Buff, which is Baptist University of Florida up there in Graceville.
Okay.
And we'll go watch them Thursday, and then we'll drive over to Pensacola on Saturday and watch them play Pensacola Christian. So hell of a chance to watch his team, and that's kind of what the dad part of it.
Yeah.
I still going through the recruiting process, it was almost like coach and dad as well. But with him, just super proud of the fact that it's good to see somebody that puts in that amount of work, and it does pay off. You talk to kids all the time of, work as hard as you can and something good will happen. And for the most part, that's true. But the next level is the next level, and
right.
and doesn't matter what level, whether it's D3, D2, D1. It's hard, especially basketball, because that's not just an athletic game; it's a skill game as well. And you've got to pass some of the, some of the things that coaches look for, like some coaches that may be listening, they know, like, if you have guard at 6'2", you better be special, because 6'2" they're not listening,
No.
But Maddox being 6'6", 6'7", you get some coaches on the phone and, tell me about him a little bit. And then you start sending film and you do those things. So, we went through that recruiting process with him and just kind of took him around to different schools and found a spot that actually worked out because his grandparents are about 15 minutes from there. So,
wow.
When he came, and I think he narrowed it down to pretty much 2 schools in the end. One school, we didn't have any family there. It was about 5 hours away in Mississippi. And then, there was Bob Jones in Greenville, and that's where his grandparents are. So I think that was kind of a big factor as well, especially for mom, knowing that you got someone close family that could be around him.
Yeah. So, Maddox, what are you going to be studying there at Bob Jones?
I'm going to be studying kinesiology to become a physical therapist or an athletic trainer, probably leaning more towards the physical therapist,
Yeah, so staying in the athletic field and doing that. Now, Coach, you're a coach over at Bay High, but you also are a teacher as well. So you're a teacher, you do gym, right? They still have gym?
They do.
Do you make them dress out?
No, it's funny because
they used to make Jeff dress out.
Do they not call it PE?
I don't know.
No, they do. They call it PE.
Okay.
Thank God.
Back in my day.
Yeah, that's right.
We used to make them dress out. The biggest thing that changed that even before COVID was the hurricane. Once the hurricane hit here, it was hard to find kids' clothes, and they kind of got rid of dressing out. And then COVID hit right back to back.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, now we're definitely not sharing locker rooms and things like that. So I think after that, it's kind of been one of those things that have just kind of culturally shifted PE in the sense of like, hey, we can't grade dressing out, so we're not going to make them do that.
Yeah. So let's talk about the season a little bit. Obviously, didn't end necessarily the way you wanted it to. Kind of give us the kind of the summary of it all. You guys were I went and came over and watched a couple of games, and you guys were really athletic, really fast. Tell us a little bit about how it went, and name some of the players and maybe some of the players that are going to be coming back next year.
Yeah, the biggest thing is we had ended with 8 seniors. So we're gonna have a lot of new guys coming up.
Yeah.
You know, and the year went like I thought it would at first until we got to about Christmas, and then obviously we didn't finish the way we wanted to. We actually missed the playoffs by 0.5, which is tough to swallow a little bit, especially, you know, after last year and getting there and having so many returners. But I think, you know, we started the year fairly well. We got off to a good start, and then we kind of hit our stride at Christmas, and there was a point where we were 13-4, and we were thinking, okay, we got a good shot in our region. And then I can't really put my finger on what happened, but we just kind of started losing confidence and didn't play as well down the stretch. You know, we tried to get a spark senior night against Blountstown. We played really well and beat them. They're a playoff team and good team. And, you know, we just couldn't put it together for that district tournament game in Pensacola. You know, we talked earlier about officiating and things like that. When you go to Pensacola, it's a different story over there. Basketball's a little bit tougher to play in that environment. So, you know, we ended up short there. But, you know, we did lose a bunch of good seniors. Obviously, Maddox one of them. And, you know, we had some really good contributions this year, especially Jemias Franklin, 6'7" kid in the post. He was really good for us. And then we have one kid that was a junior that started for us all year, and he's going to come back and have probably a pretty special senior year, and that's Amari Burgess. Just really, you know, freakishly athletic. You know, and he's got a good skill set with a pretty good IQ. So, you know, we'll have him next year, and we'll bring up a bunch of new guys and kind of see how we move forward this summer.
You know, let me ask you this, and this is something that maybe I'll need to tell the listeners, kind of give them a backstretch about how this goes, because obviously you dealt with this specifically, and this is one of those that I did not ask you in preview, so I'm sure you'll be able to understand where I'm going with this question. Basketball being one of those sports that you garner other kids that come from other sports. And, you know, during football season, you know, you have a lot of the practice times where they get together and they compete with each other and they hit and they form that special bond, and then this team kind of grows together and that kind of deal. And in baseball, it's kind of the same way. You throw against each other, or you've kind of played baseball all through your years to play each other, so you kind of have always grown together. But basketball, you might get some baseball players that come over that can play basketball, but then also you're going to have football players. How, as a coach, are you able to get that team to come together? Is it because obviously whenever one season runs into the other season, you're going to have some kids that aren't going to be at practice because they're practicing football and that kind of thing. And how does that affect the team chemistry? And so with that being said, the question is how do you try to get that team to get, you know, on the same page early on, starting the year off when you got these kids coming in from other sports?
Yeah, I think the first part is, as a coach and coaching staff, and you got to be patient. Today's game, and when I say game, I mean all athletics, has changed so much.
Yeah.
Most sports are year-round, whether it's 7-on-7 moving into 11-man football, into you know, more 7-on-7, or if it's AAU basketball into the season, and baseball, same thing with travel ball. Everything's year-round now. So I think the biggest thing is you have to be patient, and you have to kind of meet the needs of the student athlete and kind of meet them halfway. You know, we had 2 football guys that started for us all year, and, you know, it's funny because you think about your first game of the year and those guys didn't play, and it's like, okay, we lose by 1. If they play, are we in the playoffs? You know, it's kind of, so you got to be patient, and then once they get back. So, you know, the biggest thing to try to get them all together is we do it year round, but you've got to kind of do it in chunks. So during the summers are kind of our first season to where we get our team for next year, and we kind of look at what that looks like, and we'll try to take some trips, and we'll try to get them to bond a little bit. But then you don't know, because sometimes when you come back, some of those guys go to other schools, or some guys go back to their sport and then don't want to play, or some new guys come in from a sport that wasn't there this summer. So then you got to do it all over again, you know, in the preseason. And we'll do some travel ball stuff with just basketball guys, and we kind of get them together and gel. And then during the season, it's kind of like, okay, you got to put a schedule together based on what you thought your team is, and that's difficult. But then once you get it going, we always tried to do some type of trip. You know, as far as like Christmas, we went to Orange Beach this year. Thanksgiving, went down to Ocala, and we try to, you know, spend a couple nights in a hotel room, put the guys together, just kind of form some bonds there. And we've done other things, take them out to dinner and take them to some college games, and, you know, just kind of do different things to get them to understand, like, okay, like, you know, we are we do come from different areas, but we all have the same goal, and that kind of helps. But I think the biggest thing is just being patient and meeting each kid's going to have a different need, and you got to do what's best for the kid. So we try to meet them there at least halfway.
Yeah, and that seems like that's one of those things where you know, with basketball, you know, obviously if you've got, you know, one really good player that can, you know, take over a game, but also you got to be able to have that fluid, you know, work cohesiveness together to be able to function as a team and be able to win those games that are close, like you're talking about. Maddox, let me ask you this: how special? I asked him how special was it for him being able to coach you. How special was it to be able to play for your dad, and like, you know, like when you knew, and this is going to be comical because, you know, when you knew you had a bad practice or maybe you did something that ticked him off, because I've seen him, he gets a little wired up over there on the sideline, which is that's fantastic. I love it. You know, and then obviously you probably didn't ride home with him, or unless you did. And, you know, I mean, did mom kind of have to do some refereeing at the dinner table at night, or did you just kind of go to your room and kind of stay away from him and give the big man some space?
Well, we call mom assistant coach.
That's right.
Because she's always giving advice on, you know, what he should be doing or something out there. And,
yes.
You know, anytime I have back practice, and, well, some days I ride with him, some days I don't. The days I do, I'm hearing about it the whole way home, or it's just silent. And but having him as my coach, it's been really special. I mean, obviously, I get unlimited access to the gym, which helped me a lot as a player and as a person. And I mean, like, now I do get tired of it sometimes.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I grew up with him as my coach, and even then I'd still got unlimited access to the gym. I can go anywhere, like, anytime. It can be 10 o'clock at night and be like, hey, Dad, want to go get in the gym? Yeah, sure, come on.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, yeah, downsides, though, you know, I always get told I'm on the team. I'm starting because I'm the coach's kid and all that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did that kind of come up any, you know, when people would, maybe you miss a shot, be like, you know, Johnny that's sitting on the bench, because everybody knows, because everybody comes to practice, so they know that Johnny on the bench over there that, you know, totally is way better than the coach's son, even though we all know. But let me ask you this: when he would get on to you as far as like at practice, you said, what did you hate the most? Did you hate the quiet ride home? Or did you know that it was going to be okay because he'd start talking to you? Because I'm trying to learn, because, man, my kid when he messes up, I'm like, you riding with me. You ain't riding with your mom on the way home.
All right, so I feel like it's progressed throughout the years. Like now, as I've gotten older, it's more of a quiet ride home, because he knows now, like, I know what I did wrong, and like, he doesn't have to tell me. Like, he'll go let me hear about it later, but like in the moment he just lets me kind of sit and think about my performance. But when I was younger, it was definitely you need to do this, you didn't do this, you know. And mom's probably worse than him, honestly.
That's fantastic.
Is that her number one sport that she likes?
Yeah.
Mom? Yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah, that's great. So let me ask
you know what?
Yeah,
I'll have to say something. That's crazy that the other guys are saying, "Oh, you're the coach's dad," or you know, whatever. You're what, 6'6.5"? Come on. I mean, really?
Yeah.
He was 6'2" and he played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
And it's not even like you're like center. You're like forward, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you played in high
Wing.
school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like a wing.
Yeah, wing. Yeah. I mean, you're not under the goal like just like a center or whatever. You know, it's different. That's crazy.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Coach, because we do have a lot of listeners that they have kids that play basketball, baseball, all that kind of stuff. What would you say would be one of those things that's like, you know, to pull them back to not being so, it's serious and they want to get better, but what's some of the things that you would like to say for like these kids that are growing up to have aspirations to maybe play college basketball or play high school basketball, and they really enjoy it, and you know their dads are like, well, you gotta be able to do this and this and this and this and this, and they're 9 and 10 and 11 years old. What would you say some of the things that you feel like that you could impart to them if you were sitting right there with them and telling them as they ride home today listening to us?
Yeah, I think, you know, don't really want to tell anyone what works, because it's going to be different for everybody.
Right.
I know what worked with us. With Maddox growing up, I always wanted to give him some type of advantage to be successful. Now, that didn't necessarily mean me coaching him. But if we put him in travel ball, it was like, okay, you can use our gym. Because now you have more of an advantage because you can get in the gym more than some other teams that are sharing a gym at the rec or something like that. Or, coach, if you need something, I can help you in any way. And a lot of times I found myself as an assistant, which was perfect role for me because I didn't want to be on him as much as probably some dads are on their kids. The other thing was I kind of just let him grow. At 9, 10 years old, the kids still have to have a love and fun for it. It's not serious. I mean, I know, like, we've been through the travel ball stuff. We've done it at a high level. We've done it at a low level. And it's, the tournaments on the weekends, it's about, I get it. It's about winning. It's about doing those things. But, at the same time, it's about, your kid learning how to play the game the right way and being the right type of person you want that kid to be. And to me, that was the biggest thing. Like, we used to have conversations, and it wasn't like, hey, man, you should have scored, 6 more points, or you should have got to the line more. It was always like, hey, did you see how your teammate acted? Like, you need to pick them up in that moment. Or, hey, you don't question your coach. Like, if he tells you something, it's yes, sir, and you go back to what you're doing. And I think that's going to carry more weight moving forward than, hey, like, you need to, do, X, Y, and Z to be the best player on your team. You don't have to be. Maddox, like, I know he hears the, you starting because you're the coach's kid, and I know I'm biased, but I feel like this year for us, at least now, last year he wasn't our best player, but I feel like he is our best player, and it was kind of cut and dry this year as well. AJ had some nights where he was the best player on the floor, but overall, and Maddox certainly was our best practice player. So when you have that, it's easier to say, okay, he gets a longer leash. Well, why does he get a longer leash? Well, because he's earned it. Right. And the things that you're not seeing is what he's doing. But I don't think it's as far as like, as a dad, I was never like, hey, my kid's the best. Like Maddox, like his teammates now at Bay High, I've coached when I was an assistant, 6, 7, 8 years old, and he was not even in the starting lineup. But what progressed him to get by and past those kids was his work ethic, was his ability to be coachable. You asked him, like, what's it like when dad yells at you and things like, he was always coachable. He never questioned me, never backtalked me, never, always did the things like you would want your kid to do, and especially at the next level, because coaches don't want to put up with those things. And I think that's kind of what separated him and him understanding what it's supposed to be at the next level. And I think if you're a dad coaching your kid, I think that's the way that we did it. I'm not saying it was the best way or the right way. I just know it worked out for him in the end, and I'm glad we did it that way.
Yeah, and like that's the biggest thing. Like when you see it, you said everything needed to be said, because everybody wants to win, everybody wants to feel like that's the thing, but like really being able to dissect the game and see what areas that he can evolve in and get better in. And that's just amazing too that you brought that up, that when he was that age, he wasn't the best player and didn't even start, but he played and he kept going and he had the work ethic, and that's the biggest thing. And with that being said, the last question I'll ask, as far as for moving forward, are you going to still, how are you going to juggle being dad, but also still head basketball coach? Because obviously the seasons are going to go kind of the same. Obviously, hopefully this time next year, when he's starting to play, you guys are still playing in the playoffs and rolling forward. How are you going to do that?
Yeah, it's something me and my wife talk about a little bit. Like, she's always like, well, I'm flying up if you're going. Like, so, because it's a 7-hour drive. And, the good thing is, like I said, my parents are there, so no hotel fees. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we just got to be creative in our schedule. Like, they play some games around here. They're going to be in Jacksonville. They got in their conferences, Jacksonville, Pensacola, Graceville. So we'll get to see them a few times, which is just nice. And I do want to see him play, but more or less, I want to see my son. Like, I'm outnumbered at the house 2-1 now when he leaves, and it's going to be tough. So, I'm just going to want to see him. And I think that's the biggest special thing. Like, you get to see him do something he loves to do, but I get to enjoy just seeing him. do something he wants to do. So, next year we'll schedule kind of creatively. We won't play every Saturday like we did this year. And if I get a chance to go up, I'll get the chance. Certainly watch him online and things like that. But
that sounds good. Well, we sure do appreciate it. We're going to have to take our first break, but thank you so much. I'm glad you finally got to come in. And Maddox, man, congratulations on signing. That's fantastic. And we'll be pulling for you, and we'll check in with Dad and make sure and stay connected. And you never know, you get a big time going. You never know. The transfer portal is a very big thing going on nowadays. So you never know. You could get up in Bob Jones and grow about another 3 or 4 inches, and then we're talking about another step. So
talking about Dennis Rodman,
6'9", playing some good wing out there. That'd be really good. But anyway, Maddox, congratulations, my friend, and we're so proud of you. And Coach, thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate it. Coach Memon and Maddox Memon here in the building. We appreciate it. So when we come back, we're going to dive into Coach Green from Mosley. He's going to call in and talk about what they got going on. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Get in the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290.
She's all you ever wanted.
So this Valentine's, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is giving you more of what your heart desires. College basketball.
At the buzzer! First, it's Florida versus Kentucky. Tip-off at 1:30.
Followed by Auburn at Arkansas at 7. On your home for college basketball. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Tuesday's weather. The remainder of the day, there will be a gentle breeze out of the south, some sun and slight fog, and 68. Slight fog tonight, about the same at 60. Tomorrow, a mixture of slight fog and some clouds and a high of 69. About the same at 68 Thursday, and we'll have slight fog in the morning, but otherwise mostly sunshine. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover the new Kia. Stop by Bill Bird Kia today and test drive the all-new 2026 Kia, where comfort, safety, and technology come together like never before. Explore the new 2026 SUV family that moves you and drive away in a new 2026 Seltos, Sportage, or Sorento that are built to inspire every journey. Craving performance? Feel the thrill in the luxurious 2026 Kia K5 sedan, crafted for power, style, and you. And for innovation that sparks excitement, check out the 2026 all-electric Kia EV9, a modern masterpiece that's fast-charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. It's the peace of mind that you can trust. Visit us at 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or online at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. Bill Bird Kia, your local community dealer. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for details.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and one. Off the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. Dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Catch select Florida Gator basketball games on 104.3 ESPN
Northwest Florida.
On this show, we don't hold back. We react, we dissect, and we tell it like it is. You're locked into the truth. You're locked into the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your place for college basketball. Don't forget, tonight, Auburn versus Vanderbilt right after the show, 6 o'clock tip-off. They're going to be throwing the ball up as soon as we get out of here. Either way, you can be a part of the show, 850-215-6290, the Red 7Ts phone line. You can find all things custom apparel at red7ts.com and on their Facebook page as well. They know what they're doing over there at Red 7Ts.
I gotta say one thing.
Yes.
I'm about 3 inches taller on this side of the table.
Well,
when you're sitting next to somebody who's like 6'6.5", and you're used to being like maybe the tallest person in the room, I just got taller.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a low man syndrome, I think, just with that guy sitting beside you. So Maddox made Jeffrey feel small today. So that's good. That's a good thing. Well, we are joined on the Red 17's phone line with Coach Green from the Mosley Dolphins. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. About yourself?
We are doing good, but probably not as good as you, obviously, because yesterday you guys found out you guys made it to the next round for the playoffs. Give us the update, and congratulations. We're excited about Mosley getting on to the postseason.
Yeah, so yesterday, the boys and myself, we watched the selection show. We got in as the 7th seed. We're going to be matched up against Ponte Vedra. They're a really, really good team over in the Jacksonville area. So we're just starting to prepare for them, and hopefully we can make some noise.
So we just had Coach Memon in the building. I know that you and him have a special relationship. You know what? I'll do that for the sake of being able to, I know you had told me some things about him, and how special is Coach Memon, and what does he mean to you as being a coach in basketball?
He's a great guy, great coach. He's had success, wherever he stopped at, Bozeman, Mosley, Choctaw Bay. He's a coach that, he's going to bring the best out of you. His teams are always going to be talented. They're going to work hard. They're going to play good, well-coached team. So just from a coaching standpoint, he elevates me because I've definitely got to bring it anytime we play one of his teams.
Well, I appreciate that. I knew that you guys had a good bond and really close and all of that. But let's dive into this a little bit. So you're going to Jacksonville. Let me ask you this. He said earlier when we were talking, like when you get out of town, when you go to different places, the refereeing can kind of be different. Can you speak on that a little bit? Because I know that, like, I've watched several high school games, and obviously you're going to have some of the same officiating crews, but when you get out of the area, do they kind of change the way they let you, maybe let you be a little bit more physical, maybe they call a little more of a titty-tack fouls, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so, we've kind of went west in most of our playing. We went to Gainesville as well, most of the time it is a more physical brand of refereeing. I don't mind it long as you call it both ways.
Yeah.
But, just watching film on Ponte Vedra and, they are literally shoving guys around and, it's borderline football. So it's definitely going to be physical, and that's something we'll definitely prepare our team for. But, we can't leave it in the hands of, 3 guys in black and white shirts. We got to do the best that we can do.
Let me ask you this: as far as that team goes, are they mainly a bigger team? Are they athletic? Do they shoot the ball rather well, or do they have a mixture of both? Kind of give us a little bit about what they are doing.
They have a mixture of both. They are traditionally a really, really good team. They just lost in the state championship last year, so that tells you, the caliber of kids, and their best player came back. We're Region 1 in 5A, and we've played, I think it's 3 of the top 14 or top 8 teams, not including ourselves. And I've watched every team, and they have by far the best player in the Region 1 remaining. He's a 6'5" kid. He's 200 plus pounds. He's committed to Jacksonville University.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have to contend with him. But the problem, too, is not only do you have to worry about him, but they've got, the rest of their guards are 6'2", 6'3", and they can all shoot it. So we've definitely got our work cut out.
So that sounds fine. I mean, I'm okay with it. We're still going to be pulling because, as my background of playing, I understand, but the ball goes through the net the same way with everybody. So and they can't play with multiple balls, so that's a good thing. Which I do think, and we're going to slap over for just a second, with James Harden going to Cleveland, him and Donovan Mitchell, they're going to need a second ball. I mean, we got to agree on that.
They might need 3 or 4.
I definitely think so.
You know, Coach, this has been one of those special years. You know, tell us about, you know, some of these seniors that you've got and, you know, specifically, you know, Isaiah and just tell us, you know, how you guys got here and kind of give us a summary of the year so far.
Yeah, so we have 5 seniors, Isaiah Smith and Christian Gopi. They are the 2 that have been there since their 9th grade year. Then we have Cooper Nation, who came over last year from Arnold, and then Patrick Franklin, who came from Rutherford, and then Connor Chandler, who came from Pell City in Alabama. So we've got those 5 seniors. Isaiah and Connor, they start for us. A lot of people know them, seen them play. But those other guys are role players. Even if they don't play like Cooper, he's the heart of the team, heart and soul. He brings energy on the bench every single time. But it's just a weird mix of kids. You know, the seniors that we have, you know, brought some senior leadership. But, you know, our underclassmen, they've helped out too. And I always tell them, I said, I don't know why God brought us all together, but we're just a weird mix, and it just works. And we've had a really good season up so far. We just have to continue that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Now, Isaiah, he eclipsed the 1,000-point mark. You know, him being the leader of the team and everything runs through him by being around, watching the games and seeing that. Talk about him real quick. How special was that for him to get that 1,000th point, and what does he mean to the Mosley Dolphin program and your program specifically?
Yeah, that was a big deal. The last home game, he got his 1,000-point first. It was the second basket of the game. That's just a big deal. It's hard to score 1,000 points. It just shows the work that he's put in and the trust that we've had with him over 4 years. You know, we brought him up as a freshman. He didn't really score as much and kind of just threw him to the fire. And since then, you know, he's been a leader for the team. He's always at workouts. He's always, you know, he's a coach on the court. He's our emotional leader. He's just our leader by just his play as well. But, you know, aside from the basketball, he's just a great kid. He was a homecoming king, and the teachers, the students, his peers, they love him. And I can't speak enough praises for him. I always tell him, you know, when my son grows up, I wouldn't mind him being like Isaiah. He's yes, sir, no, sir. I can tell him something. He tells the rest of the team. It gets it done. He's just a great kid, to be honest.
Yeah, and it seems like that. It seems like, you know, one thing that I noticed, and we talked earlier about, you know, the black and whites. You know, I noticed that they don't really, your team, they don't really let that, you know, affect them. Now their facial expressions can say it all, and you know they let the parents holler, and you obviously, you know, you sound like you're struggling with your voice today anyway, and I'm sure it's because of all the screaming. But you know, talk about that too. Like, what's your message to your kids whenever you know that that there might be a little bit, you know, some ticky-tack calls that happen, and how to deal with that?
Well, this team, you know, they fight, you know, no matter what's going on. Like I said, we purposely scheduled some really tough teams and some really tough environments, and they're used to it. You know, unfortunately, we didn't win the district championship last Saturday, but Booker T, they jumped out on us, you know, by 11 points. I called timeout, and they responded. There was a 1-point game in the third quarter, and there were a bunch of calls that did not go our way. So they're used to it. I tell them, let me do the yelling, let me do the talking. I'll get on the refs. You know, you guys just play. And, you know, that's all I can ask for them. They give me 110% despite the refs, despite it going good or bad. They're going to play no matter what. And this team just has a toughness about them, and it shows.
Coach, how many technical fouls have you gotten this year?
Oh man, I've actually not got as many as I have in the past. I think I'm at 2 or 3, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of get them at the end of the games when it's, you know, the score's almost over with, or, you know, whatever, and I just do it to just yell at the ref. I'm honest with you. I know I did it against Milton, I did it against South Walton, but I've actually been a lot better. Coach Ross, my mentor, has talked to me a lot. Every conversation, he's telling me how to talk to the refs and navigate. So he's been a big help in that right there. But I've kind of calmed down. I try to build a relationship with him, but there are times where I will get a tech on purpose.
Well, you do know, me and you've talked about my basketball background and me playing over in Mobile and being in Mobile County. I will tell you who not to talk to about technical fouls. That would be me, my friend, because not only did I lead the county in scoring my senior year, I also led the county in technical fouls by a player. So I'm definitely not.
I might have did that too.
I'm definitely not somebody that you would need to ask. Let me ask you this. I know we're getting closer to a break, but there was something that happened with your JV team as far as their record this year. Talk about how important it is for your JV team to really do good, and maybe give some names of some of the kids that's going to be stepping up playing varsity next year. That's going to fill some of these gaps for these seniors that are leaving.
Yeah, our JV team, they went 18-2, and they won the county championship. Arnold hosted a tournament. They went there, beat Arnold, beat Bayonne the championship, and they're really talented. This is probably the most talented 9th grade and 10th grade group that we've had in my short tenure. Evan Rodriguez, Ryu Jackson, Conley Hall. I am probably going to forget some of these names because my mind is everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm literally trying to draw. I'm drawing a blank right now. But we've got a lot of good young kids that can play. Kay Denicky, he's on that JV team, but he's actually got moved up to varsity. Jordan Ward's on there. We have a really, really good group of guards for the next couple of years if they all stay. But you know how the transfer portal works in high school.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can retain all of them. I will say if we get any size with that team, we're going to be really scary. And the thing that people don't realize is, our varsity team, moves the ball really well. And that sometimes, they can score, with the best of them in the state. Our JV team actually, on level, moves the ball and scores a whole lot better than our varsity team. So I don't know who, worked them out when they were younger, but kudos to them. But that young group is really, really talented, and they just love playing for each other. They love playing for Coach Robinson, my assistant. So we got a really bright future for the young guys.
That's fantastic. Speaking of the young guys, we have a lot of dads that listen to the program and their kids play. I asked Coach Memon, and he gave some of his pointers for these dads for, coaching their kid or, the things that they, what's important for these 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 11, 12-year-olds as they're wanting to start playing basketball. What's some of the things that you would say to them, because now, we were talking about how travel ball and AAU and all of that stuff is kind of taken over, and now it's like all year round they're playing basketball, and the worst thing that you would want to see is a kid that has played all this basketball, really turned out to be really good, but just stopped loving the game because of how much they've played just week in, week out, always traveling, always playing, and just kind of burns out. What's some of the things that you think, for these dads that are listening, as far as for those kids, some of the pointers that you would say giving them as far as being there, being supportive for their kid that's an athlete?
I would say definitely support. Definitely don't live through them. Let them just be a kid. Let them enjoy it and let them fall in love with it. I know for, my son, he's 6. We are, letting him explore different sports. Mom won't let him play football, but he plays, baseball. We'll do soccer when that comes around, and then maybe even some flag football. But just let the kids be kids, and they'll gravitate towards, the sport that they love. And I think, honestly, them playing multiple sports, gives them, an advantage from your football kids, that toughness that they get on the football field, or, your baseball kids that get that hand-eye coordination. So I wouldn't just zero in. I did that, and I, look back at 37. I wish I would have played more sports. I didn't get burnt out on it, but I would just say, allow them to explore and just find that love for whatever sport that is, and then you can start to gravitate, towards it when they're older. They've kind of narrowed it down.
Yeah, that's some great advice, Coach. So we're bumped up against the break. Give us what time and where you're going to be playing, and then if you guys win that game, where do you go next?
Okay, so we are this Saturday. We are at 5 o'clock our time, 6 o'clock Eastern in Ponte Vedra. It's basically Jacksonville area. So we'll be playing over there. And then if we win, we will be playing Lincoln or Columbia. And I anticipate it being Lincoln, but you never know. So either way, we're going to be on the road. I would like another rematch with Lincoln. You know, obviously we got to get through Ponte Vedra.
Yeah.
But if we could get to Lincoln, I actually feel good about that matchup. He doesn't want to play us because he knows he got off the hook with that last game right there. But we're going to put all our focus in Ponte Vedra, and then we'll figure out, you know, that next step. So.
Well, Coach, we are pulling for you guys, and we'll stay connected. And whenever the game comes, we'll definitely cover you. And we appreciate it. You calling in, and maybe Monday we can get with you and have you call in and tell us how you guys did.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all having us.
All right, Coach Green from the Mosley Dolphin High School basketball program. Thanks so much, Coach. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And when we come back, we are going to dive into some breaking news that's happened today on the baseball front. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 7T Studio Line. Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
I absolutely think Seattle has what it takes to go back-to-back. They are going to have turnover at the offensive coordinator position with Clint Kubiak, but we have seen the emergence of Mike McDonald, a defense that is so nasty. We believe in Sam Darnold in a different way. So many great pieces on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and now they have that championship DNA.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get ready, boys. Valentine's Day is incoming. Coin and bullion reserves fine jewelry will make the process easy. Earrings, necklaces, diamonds, and engagement rings. Plus, free 12 stunning red roses with purchase of $500 of jewelry or more. For decades, you've trusted Coin and Bullion Reserves Fine Jewelry, the largest rare coin and bullion dealer in the Southeast. Finest jeweler in town, still at 2621 East 15th Street. Coin and Bullion Reserves Fine Jewelry, your diamond headquarters.
Crawfish season is back, and the heat is on at Lone Star Boil House. Lone Star Boil House is where the locals go for delicious, mouth-watering Cajun crawfish, shrimp, buttery red royals, and everything crab. Plus, Lone Star Boil House is now serving liquor. Get crawfish 6 days a week, open to close. To-go crawfish also available at the front bar, and crush the follow on Facebook for frequent food and drink specials. Lone Star Boil House, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
Call-ins are not welcomed. They're expected. Pick up the damn phone.
I'm ready to go in, Coach.
850-215-6290.
Just give me a chance.
Now back to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Just give me the damn ball.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your place for college basketball. Don't forget tonight, right after the show, Auburn versus Vandy right here, 6 o'clock. Tip-off right whenever we leave the building. You want to be a part of the show? You can be 850-215-6290. I am here with Jeffrey and Bone Crusher, crushing the ones and the twos. I'll tell you this. Major League Baseball, even though it's not started yet, the one thing that I will say, pitchers and catchers report is happening, and we're excited about it. Baseball season is getting ready to be underway. And I will say this, there was breaking news today. Justin Verlander, of all people, now let's see, 43 years old next week, is going to be pitching for the Detroit Tigers.
I like that.
And that is going to be a big deal. So Detroit Tiger fans, you got Justin Verlander back. Now, don't forget, he returns to the team after being with them for 13 seasons. So you know what that means. He's going to retire right there after this year, probably. And
well, he wants that old glory.
Yeah, but that pitching, I mean, don't forget, they were the best team in baseball for almost all year last year. Mm-hmm. So they were fantastic. And then they've added him. They've added the other pitcher from the Houston Astros. So they still got Skubal, who was the Cy Young Award winner. So that's going to be a big deal up there in Detroit. So, I mean, a lot of your Detroit fans, and obviously I know we've got to, switch over and get ready for basketball and baseball because of football being over. But I'm just telling you, that's one of those things where it's crazy. But let's get into some of the Braves stuff, since we are the affiliate for the Braves, and they did exactly what I told them to do, but they didn't do it.
What?
They did what I told them to do, but they didn't do it. They got rid of Ozuna. Marcell Ozuna signed with the Pirates today for $12 million. They let him go to free agency. If he signed for $12 million, that means he had value. And what I just don't understand is why the Braves did not trade him or allow them to get something for him rather than just letting him go off into the sunset and signing a $12 million contract. Because $12 million for 1 year, that's value. He's going to be batting third or fourth, or probably fourth or fifth in that Pirate batting order. And so now I'm just like, what in the world?
So will the Pirates be mid?
I mean, they've added,
is still there. I get it.
Yeah, they've added a few pieces.
Yeah, they have.
They've added a few pieces.
But they're still not. They weren't average last year at all.
No, they wasn't.
No.
But I'm just saying, like, it's just crazy to me because I was like, okay, where's Ozuna going? Remember I talked about Ozuna?
Oh, yeah. You were playing game manager. Trade this and do this and do that. And let's look out for the future. And you were changing it all up, boy. I was like, steady the ship. And, and they started to get a little hot for about 20 days maybe?
Yeah, they had
and then they just fizzled out in August.
Yeah, so I'm just worried about that. I'm worried about losing Ozuna. They didn't get Kyle Schwarber like I wanted them to.
Yeah.
And
you were talking all these big names. Oh, we can get this guy. They all want to come to Atlanta.
Yeah.
What? Come on, man.
They kept Sean Murphy.
This is not the Yankees.
I know, but they kept Sean Murphy, and we decided they needed to get rid of Sean Murphy, but I don't think they have. And now they let Ozuna go for nothing, and Walt Weiss is the new manager, which is great, but, I mean, he's still a part of the old coaching staff, so, I mean, I think they're still familiarity, but...
Well, you don't work Saturdays, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so a week from this Friday, the Yankees and the Orioles in Sarasota.
Yeah. So you're trying to take a road trip?
No, you. I'm not the Yankees guy. You are.
Well, we might have to take a road trip. I mean, that'd be nice. And
that's right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. I will say this. Some bad news for some Braves pitching staff. Spencer Schwellenbach placed on a 60-day IL due to right elbow inflammation. Another one of those pitchers you remember last year. Every starting pitcher for the Braves went out with some type of injury.
In May,
yeah. And it didn't work out so well. And Schwellenbach was one of the bright spots of the group. And it's really disappointing. I was really disappointed, and I was hoping that they would all come back fresh and ready to go. That says a lot, though, man, that these guys are having such the arm troubles. And it just seems like it's just every year. There's a couple of more people that we're talking about earlier about having.
Is it overworking or is it mechanics or both?
It can be mechanics, but realistically, it's probably overworking. The way I see it, and this is just the way I see it, I'm just a dad that, kind of looks and watches. The biggest thing about everybody is velocity, and it's always been that. It's just maybe major now because of internet, social media, and there's more facilities, there's more coaches now than ever before. There's more pitching coaches and hitting coaches, and everybody's got training videos and subscriptions that you can subscribe, and you basically set your phone up and you swing your bat, and they tell you what's wrong with your swing, what's right with your swing, and you pay $30 a month, $60 a month, $100 a month for that subscription for that coach to look at your screen, at your swing, and he might be way over in California, or he might be up in New York or Florida, deep down in the Miami area or whatever. And instead of having your coach being, just your coach from when I played, it's like Little League, now you've got hitting coaches, and you've got pitching coaches, and you've got fielding coaches, and you've got all kinds of stuff. And you've got these guys that know what they're talking about. But, there's so many kids. But getting back to the central figure is, I think your arm is just like a tire. I think you only have a certain amount of tread on it before they have to go in there. So, to me, it seems like, pitching and throwing and, we've talked about this and my son plays travel ball and a lot of people's kids do. And, when you think about the throwing and the building, and this is pre-puberty, so like realistically, you're not supposed to necessarily work out heavy with weights or, have your kid out there trying to bench press 100 pounds and then weighing 70. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not something you're supposed to do technically. But like push-ups and, doing, body weight stuff and all of that is really good for them. But you got to think. Like if a kid, just say, for example, if he plays second base, shortstop, right field, left field, doesn't really matter. They've got to warm up. And then they might have a ball hit to them. They may not. But then they come in to pitch, and then they have to warm up to pitch, and then you pitch the actual game pitches. And then you also pitch in between innings, warming up to get ready to pitch during the innings. So, I mean, it could be, if you like a lot of us, we played short or third or second or whatever. So you'd pitch, and then you'd go back and play your position. You might throw 300-400 balls in one day. And then with travel ball, you play a Saturday and you play a Sunday. So, if you don't pitch this day, but you pitch this day, you might throw 500-600 times during the whole week because you got to warm up for this game. And you might play, you're going to play at least 2 games on Saturday, and you might play, depending on how many games you win on Sunday, because it's a tournament after that, you could play 2 to 3 games on Sunday. So you could play for a total of 5 games. And if you pitch one of those games and had 3 or 4 balls and you warmed up for each game, you could easily go over 5 to 1,000 throws during a day. And that's not counting your 2 a week practice. And if you do have a pitching coach, you might have went and thrown a bullpen with him, which could be anywhere from 50 to 100 pitches. So, I mean, it's a lot.
Is the Mobile area more football or baseball?
There's no one sport anymore. Really? It's gotten to the place where it's nowhere. And it's just like here. I mean, if you look across the spectrum, you've got on the beach side, they've got basketball, they've got baseball, they've got football, and they've got multiple places. And then you got the travel ball of baseball, you got the travel of basketball, and it's on the city side as well. And you got Lynn Haven, you got Southport, you got Callaway. They all have their organizations. So, I mean, there's so many kids playing youth sports right now. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear a lot of people playing Little League here, baseball.
Yeah, and then, I mean, you got the like Lynn Haven's baseball, and then you got Panama City Beach's baseball. Panama City has got Little League, which they were a sponsor here for us, signing up for their kids, doing that too. So I mean, you just got a plethora of sports for those kids to play, and that's why whenever we've got these high school coaches coming in, that's why I like to ask them questions that pertain to the younger ones, because I know that a lot of dads want to know, are we doing it the right way? Because everybody wants their kid to do well. And, we're not all experts at anything for the most part. We just want to do, right by our kid. And, I loved how Coach Minman said, we understand that it's about winning, but keeping them loving the game. And, Coach Green said the same thing. He was like, playing multiple sports, but letting them have fun. And that's the biggest thing is letting them have fun and then doing everything you can to help them succeed, but also don't hurt them in the future.
Do you find that, okay, I don't know what your opinions are on it and everything, but basketball, did you learn to love it more than the other sports? And that's why you played it? Or how did it happen? Was it like you were achieving more and that's why you liked it more, or what?
So, yes, the individual part of it, I could control a game by how I played, whereas with baseball, the ball controlled, the bat controlled. Obviously, if you were a pitcher, you could control when you were pitching, but you can't facilitate runs. Yeah. Football, you can be the most electric player on the field, but if you don't have any blocking, then you're in trouble. But basketball, you can make shots and you can take over a game, and in high school or middle school, you average 10 or 15 points and y'all only scored 30. And then in high school, if you are scoring 60 and 70 or 50 and 70 and you scored 20, you could make a difference in that game. And I don't know, maybe that was it for
difference
me.
maker.
It was probably a little bit more of a selfish mentality of I could create more winning or create, which we didn't win a lot in high school. It was a tough area to play basketball in. But realistically, being able to be competitive, being able to score a lot of points, that was it.
I hate that we have to talk about the referees and everything. I call them stripes.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? Me being a referee at some points, it's good to have because that's how it works, and they're part of the game. They're always going to be. One of the Red 17's phone line people said, I see way too many young arms destroyed because of travel ball. Pitch 75 pitches in a game and then go to catcher and throw another 50 to 75 pitches more back to the pitcher. Either way, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we're going to dive into some Super Bowl, some college basketball, and there's some NFL news going on that you need to know about. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Red 70s studio line is now open. 850-215-6290.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
It is a joyous day in Southport, Florida, baby.
Tell us all about it.
Not only was yesterday my birthday, it was also the anniversary of my dad's passing. And I told my dad on his deathbed that the Seahawks were going to win the Super Bowl on my birthday.
My man.
And that was 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Tuesday. For tonight, slight fog and a low of 60 with a light breeze around 6 miles per hour out of the south-southwest. Tomorrow morning, slight fog and mostly clouds with temps around 68. In the afternoon and evening, partly sunny and slightly foggy and a temperature near 69. Moving into Thursday, about the same with a high of 67 and slightly foggy. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
That boot store reminds you that it doesn't hurt to give something stylish and practical on Valentine's Day. Just think, fellas, what she's gonna look like in that special Western outfit. Wow. Ladies, he'll look sharp in those jeans and new hat, too. Okay, fellas, to be on the safe side and not be sleeping on the couch, that boot store suggests that you complement that Western outfit with some lovely flowers, candy, or romantic art. Maybe all three. Just a suggestion from that boot store. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. Next to Billboard Kia, 15th Street, Panama City.
GSX Lynn Haven, WFLQ Port St. John. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your goals matter, and at Anytime Fitness Panama City, they're ready to help you crush them. With expert coaching, personal training, and virtual workouts through the Anytime Fitness app, you'll have all the support you need inside the club and beyond. Limited time only. Join today for just $1 down and start your fitness journey now. Don't wait. Visit 107 West 23rd Street, Suite W8, or call 850-818-8184. Anytime Fitness. Let's make healthy happen.
This is the Sports Blitz, where we don't have guests. We have punching bags. The Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's 5 o'clock, and it's a Tuesday, and you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for college basketball. We got Auburn Tigers versus the Vanderbilt Commodores at 6 o'clock right after the show. Don't forget to watch that, listen to that. That would be awesome. Don't forget you can be a part of the show, 850-215-6290, the Red 70's phone line. Your place for all things custom apparel. We're pumped up and ready to go. So glad that you joined us today on this Tuesday and this beautiful, beautiful weather here in Panama City Beach, and we're excited about it. I got Jeffrey in the building. Bone Crusher's here. We're excited, having a good time. We got to talk about it, Jeffrey. Alabama. We broke the news yesterday with the deal with Charles Biacco. He is not able to play anymore. You said you were happy about that, right? You were glad because he was a G League player, but we do know that other G League players have played college before. Are they just picking on Alabama?
No, it's not that. Okay, so the G League, this guy played multiple years of G League, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
And what was the Baylor guy? He was just drafted. He wasn't playing in the G League. He never played in the G League. So this is a difference. And the reason why I like it is it has nothing to do with it being Alabama. It's just being fair.
Yeah.
You can't go be pro and then come back. I mean, Jim Thorpe had all of his Olympic medals just taken away from him because he played professional baseball before he played, amateur track. That's crazy. I mean, that's the history right there. And there's nothing really that should change that. I mean, I don't know. I've never gotten paid for playing sports. But if I went back to college right now and played something where I had an unfair advantage, it would be unfair.
Yeah, and that's true. I get it. I want to read this because I think this is important. This kind of lets you know where Alabama stands. I want to read the statement that the university has put out. And it says, "We are disappointed in today's court ruling denying the injunction of Charles Biacco. While we understand the concern around competitive and developmental implications of former professional athletes participating in college, it is important to acknowledge reality. The NCAA has granted eligibility to over 100 current men's basketball players with prior professional experience in the G League or overseas. Granting eligibility to some form professional and not to others is what creates the havoc we are currently in and why consistency from decision makers is so desperately needed."
I wonder how many of those over 100 really were in the G League in this country. Because, I mean, we can talk about Europe and Asia all day long,
Do you think that's fair? Like, that's a point that needs to be brought up because, like, Luka Doncic and the Joker, Jovic or Jovic, whatever, those guys played professionally before they went to the NBA. They played professionally against grown men. I mean, back in the day when you would watch the Olympics, you would see like our college kids, and they were playing against guys that had been playing 3 and 4 and 5 years in pro leagues overseas, and they're grown men. And it's just like the whole thing with Indiana playing against all these other college football teams. When you would see them, you'd be like, oh, that guy's 23. Oh, that guy's 22. It matters. It makes a difference. So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about if they're going to make the precedent about the G League that you can't go from the G League back to college? Well, what about the overseas? Are you saying now, okay, so if you got a kid that lives in Serbia and he's 15 years old and high school is not set up the same way in Serbia that it is here, and so he goes and he plays at 15, 16, 17 years old against these guys, and he turns out to be like really awesome, but not awesome enough to go straight into the NBA. And so say Michigan or Alabama or one of these other colleges offers him the opportunity now with the NIL money that you can get. Maybe BYU says, hey, we'll give you $1 million per year to come over and play. Now, this kid's been playing 3 years of professional basketball overseas. Like, are we going to cherry pick what's professional? Is the G League in America, not the same as overseas? You see what I'm saying? So there's going to be that question. How do you feel about that, knowing the circumstance around that?
I think a strict rule, if you have applied to go through the NBA draft and you got drafted, you're done. Can't go back down at all. And if you went and played, G League, no. You got money, you got paid money for basketball. You can't go back down to college in this country. Now, if overseas, they need to have some type of rule. It needs to be a combination of age and if it's more than a year or two of professional getting paid overseas. That's what I think they should do.
Well, I mean, and you know, when you look at it, there's such blurred lines now when it comes to amateur sports, and it's
getting paid is in black and white.
Yeah, but they're getting paid to play college now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the same concept. They're offering,
but they're not doing that in Europe on college. I don't think they're paying.
Do they have
for college?
Do they have college? They don't have college basketball in Europe, do they? I don't. I've never watched it.
Canada does. Why not?
I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, but for a kid that's over in Serbia, Germany, wherever, if he wants to come over and play at LSU, and LSU offers him $800,000 a year to come, and that's like $2 million in his country, and he can send that money back to his parents.
Yeah.
And here he is, an 18, 19, 20-year-old man that's never been in college, but says, hey, I want to go play college basketball. You don't think that that's going to happen? That's going to start happening, and it's probably already happening. We probably don't even know. We're probably behind the 8 ball when it comes to that. There's probably already kids that are here that are adults that were really good basketball players and are making money here in the States.
And in their country. I mean, like, I remember. I mean, this goes way back. LSU had a guy from Dominican Republic, you know, and everybody just loved him and everything. And Texas Longhorns right now, 4 players from other countries. And I can't remember if it was like 2 or 3 of them are from Europe and then one's from Africa. And it's like, man, y'all just getting them from all over the place at this point.
See, basketball is totally different than football. Basketball is different than baseball because there's the longevity of players that stay in the league. If you get drafted in the second round, you may not even make it.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
If you go third,
G-League for you.
Yeah, if you go 3rd or 4th round, you probably might as well hang it up for
there is no 3rd or 4th round NBA draft.
So then you're done. I thought there was a 3rd round.
No,
there's not anymore.
It used to be.
Okay, they cut it.
Not anymore. There's only 2 rounds. Was it 64 picks and you're done? Now football used to have like 18 and they cut it down to 12 when we were kids, and then they eventually cut it down to 7.
Well, when you and Bone Crusher were kids, me and you had never been kids at the same time.
Yeah,
I'm way younger. But really, when you look at that part, that's what's crazy is like if you're not good enough to, because you got guys like, you know, LeBron and KD and Steph and those guys that have been there for a while. They've been there for a long time.
They got the spot.
So there's not going to be an influx, and then you got to have your guys that are just so good that your freshmen or, you know, your seniors or whoever that stayed in college that's made their made their mark. So I mean, you really don't have a foot to stand on right there if you don't make it.
Yeah. Do you feel sorry for the football kind of pushing out the older people?
No, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's about winning. It's about winning.
Yeah.
And if you can't win,
it's also about
filling the stands.
Money.
Yeah.
It's also about money.
Yeah, you got to fill the stands, but that's the same way with basketball. I mean, that's why you've got teams that have stars and they won't get rid of them. They won't build around them, but they still selling tickets. And it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do? Are we ever going to, you know, everybody talks against building the super teams, but realistically, like, how are you going to compete? You're not going to be able to compete anymore by just drafting, hardly. I mean, I know the Charlotte Hornets, they're trying to do it, but they're probably one of the younger teams that's got the best shot at it. But I mean, you know, SGA and them did it the right way. They're the first one. Maybe we were thinking that this was the new way of doing it. And I mean, you look at it, the Nuggets, they've done that. They didn't, you know, they've added a few pieces. But I mean, I just wanted to know what you thought about it, especially with the Alabama deal. Last night, big things happening because, you know, we got the ranking last, you know, we got the AP poll of week 15, Arizona, #1 team in the country, Michigan at #2, Houston at #3, Duke at #4, Iowa State #5, UConn #6, Nebraska at 7, Illinois at 8, Kansas at 9, and then 10, Michigan State.
Wow.
So,
you hear all those Big Ten?
Teams
when you hear Michigan State, Illinois, all this, I mean, it's like, wow.
Yeah, Duke is ACC, and then you got like Nebraska. You know, they're having a great year.
Hanging around.
But Kansas last night upset the #1 team in the country.
So the ranking came out before this game, because this game was last night, and they were unanimous again.
Yeah. Well, because they've been so good, and I was asked yesterday who was my 2. I said Arizona and Florida, And obviously Florida's not ranked right now in the top 10. They're ranked, but they're not in the top 10. But Arizona losing last night, I think that's the greatest thing that could happen. You need to lose a game during the season, get it out of your system, know how it feels, going undefeated.
But it's a special.
It reminds me. No. I was in Kentucky whenever they went undefeated for the regular season. They swept through the SEC tournament. And, I mean, they had the twins. They had Willie Cauley-Stein. They had Karl Anthony Towns. They had Devin Booker. They had all of those NBA players ready to play on that team. And they had 3 or 4 7-footers. I mean, they were fantastic. But then they went all the way, and they lost to Utah. And that was the deal. I mean,
that's heartbreaking.
Frank the Tank. I don't know if you remember Frank or not, but but I'm just saying, like, it's good to lose early in basketball.
When you were in high school, 1990 and 1991, UNLV, when they went on that run, it was just like jaw-dropping. The way they killed Duke in the finals in 1990 was just jaw-dropping, and then Duke got their revenge in the Final Four the next year. That was memorable. I'll never forget that year.
And that's why, like, you know, when you look at basketball, to me, unless it's one of those special years, and I'm not saying that Arizona's not going to have a special year, because I still think they're going to win. I think they're going to get all the way. I think they're great.
Well, it's a long time.
It's a long
2 more months.
I know, but still. No, we only got March Madness, baby. It's coming.
Yeah, it ends in April.
I know, it ends in April, but I'm just saying we got a lot of
We're almost 2 full months away from the final. Anything could happen between now and then, especially when players go down. I hate to see that right before the tournament's on.
Yeah, but what about North Carolina coming back and beating Duke over the weekend? That was something.
That was huge.
That was a big deal, too.
Because when you were talking about second team, I didn't think you were going Florida. I thought you were going Duke.
No.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Schreier, however you pronounce his name, John Schreier. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to win it. I mean, it's hard to follow a GOAT. It's so hard. And Coach K was so good for so long. And I know he was a disciple. I know he was one of those guys. But, you know, and we got to, before we go to a break, we got to give it up for Miami of Ohio. They are still the only undefeated basketball team. I mean, would you have ever thought that Miami of Ohio would have had an undefeated basketball team? Because the only thing, what if we hung Miami of Ohio's hat on? Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we can talk about with Miami of Ohio. That's where Big Ben went. That's all we know about them.
Yeah.
But they're trying to make a name for
and
themselves.
there's schools in that area. Xavier of Ohio is right there in Cincinnati. Miami of Ohio is like, what, about 30, 40-minute drive? It's right there in the Miami Valley. So Cincinnati Bearcats, I mean, they got a lot of basketball going on in that area.
Yeah. It's plus 30,000 is their chances of winning the national title.
So I was thinking about it the other day, and I said, you know, I don't think they're going to make Sweet 16. I think they're going to drop out probably second round. They're going to play somebody real, and then they're going to drop it. And I don't think they're going to Sweet 16.
Well, and that's what you've got to.
It's a different level.
It's a different story. Yeah. It's a different ball game. It just really depends on what their ranking is going to be at the end of the year, and then what side of the bracket are they going to be on? Are they going to be on? I mean, they could be on a bracket with UNC, with Duke, with Kentucky, with Florida, with Michigan. These type of teams that have experience in winning and all of that. And is it going to be we made it to the tournament? Because I'm not even sure if they made it last year. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But they don't have to win their conference tournament to make it to the tournament because of their resume.
Yeah, but when you look at it, it's not always. They do strength of schedule and all of that to get their ranking. So I'm not sure what their ranking is right now.
If they drop one game, 6 or 7 seed is a good possibility.
Yeah.
They go completely undefeated. They could be a 4. And playing a 13, I'm not saying is easy because, it's anybody's game in the tournament. You play a 13, you knock them off. You're playing a 5 in the second round. And that's not easy.
But you also could be playing like a Alabama, or you could be playing like a Kentucky or Tennessee, somebody that has beat good teams, or a Vanderbilt or Georgia, or somebody that is maybe they've been in in a lot of games you could play Auburn. What would they do with Auburn? That's the question.
Or it could be like I don't know who's in the Mountain West hardly anymore that's any good. Utah State or Air Force or whoever's winning the Mountain West. They could be not from the Big Five, conferences, because there's more in basketball than there is football. But I mean, they could have dominated their conference, and we have two top-notch other conference winners playing each other in the second round.
And that's really where it gets tough, because then you got to be able to play, but then you during the year you get a little break or you get some home time or whatever, but all of your things that you do is thrown off because you're having to do all your stuff at a local high school, or maybe they'll give you a little bit of practice time and you're staying in a hotel and this is the first time and they haven't done this before.
See, the good part of being in the MAC, you might get two teams at the most, right? You're probably going to be in the Midwest regional, because that's how they work the seedings. Where the SEC, they got to divide them all up on the 4 different regions, and you're not going to be moving. What are you going to go to, like, I don't know, Madison or Milwaukee or Minneapolis, or the furthest that you could possibly go if you're in the Midwest?
Yeah, but if you get in UConn or Arizona or UNC,
because they'll split up those guys.
You'll get in those brackets, and you're going to be in big, big trouble, because they're so good, and they know how to play that style of winning basketball to turn around and play the next day.
And the difference about being the big dog and having the confidence, and then going to go play somebody else who has that confidence, and then you're almost awestruck that you're playing somebody that big.
Yeah, and I mean, their fans might travel, but they might not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there might not be a big travel for the Miami, and they're the Red Hawks? Is that what they are?
Yeah, the Red Hawks.
Yeah, so
that's a smart school. I know somebody who graduated from there, and they're intelligent.
So it makes the school smart because you know somebody there that's intelligent.
No. It's there's certain schools that I didn't realize had higher academic standards, and then I was like, oh, I didn't know UNC Wilmington was had that kind of standards, or William and Mary. I was like, wow. I didn't know some of these schools were that higher on a level. I mean, their acceptance rate is, it's not easy to get in, that's for sure.
You know who has high standards? Humbert Diesel and Auto Repair, 1504 County Road 390 in Lynn Haven. Their phone number is 850-630-0766. Tie in those guys at Humbert Diesel and Auto Repair. They do a great job on diesel. So if you've got a 6.7 or a 7.3, go see them. You like the black smoke and it's not the good kind, you need to make sure you take your vehicle over there. They will take good care of you. They're smart. They're intelligent. They know exactly what they're doing. And you know what they are? Local. And that matters. So either way, make sure you take your vehicle over there. But we appreciate the sponsorship of the microphone, Humbert Diesel and Auto Repair. I'm going to give you their phone number one more time, 850-630-0766. Make sure you ask for Ty and get him to look at your vehicle if you need taken care of. But either way, we're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, we're going to look at some things from the NFL. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Text in now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your spot for college basketball.
And it goes in at the buzzer. Got it.
Listen to select games from the LSU Tigers, Florida Gators, the Auburn Tigers, and the biggest games around the country play here.
Three-pointer. Puts it in. Oh, you saw that coming, Rap.
The most live college basketball in the Panhandle.
Game is over.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Tuesday. For tonight, slight fog and a low of 60 with a light breeze around 6 miles per hour out of the south-southwest. Tomorrow morning, slight fog and mostly clouds with temps around 68. In the afternoon and evening, partly sunny and slightly foggy and a temperature near 69. Moving into Thursday, about the same with a high of 67 and slightly foggy. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
Ask for special ESPN Northwest Florida pricing.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
To the rack. Layup good and wide. Up for the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it. To the rack. Dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Catch select Florida Gator basketball games on 104.3 ESPN.
Northwest Florida.
You've got the games, but we've got the breakdown.
That's the difference between a winning football team and a losing football team.
Hot takes, cold truths, and the takedowns that get everyone talking. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
Then you're going to run into a big problem.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for college basketball. Don't forget, right after the show, Auburn versus Vanderbilt. Going to be tip-off at 6 o'clock. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290, the Red 7 Tees phone line. Going to make a quick announcement. Obviously, we talked about it yesterday and linked a little bit. One of the local heroes, local legends, Terrence Gore, has passed away, and want to give his visitation and something that they're doing kind of special for him and the kids and the families. It'll be February the 13th at 6 to 8 at Sutherland Family Funeral Home. That's at 100 East 19th Street in Panama City. The service will be February the 14th, which is a Saturday at 1 o'clock at Highland Park Baptist Church. That's right there at 2611 US 231 in Panama City. His wife had posted that one of the things that they would like for is that if your child is coming, if you would come dressed in your baseball uniform.
Oh, wow.
And Terrence loved the youth, and baseball has been his passion his whole life. And she felt like that would be the best way to honor him. So if you're going to be able to go and honor him, honor this legend, this hometown hero, go ahead and dress your son or your daughter up in their baseball uniforms, softball uniforms. I'm sure they will take both, and they appreciate it. Way to honor him. And, just want to say again that our prayers, our thoughts are with them and the all of the family and the people that are affected the most by them.
But you don't need to wear your cleats.
Yeah, no, don't wear your cleats inside the church. Yeah,
that's a good sized church there on the left hand side, going up 231.
Yeah,
going north out of town.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a packed house because the lives that he touched and the people that he touched was a really great a thing in Panama City and Southport and Callaway and all throughout this part of the Panhandle. But either way, we just wanted to mention that as a just something local that was going on. Jeffrey, we've been talking about basketball. I don't know if you saw it last night. We got to share it a little bit. The NBA had a big time, crazy brawl between the Charlotte Hornets and the Detroit Pistons.
Why is that all the dang Pistons?
Man, just be glad that it did not happen at the Palace, which the Palace is no longer. But still, if everybody remembers the Malice in the Palace.
Auburn Hills.
Yeah, that was terrible. But last night was one of those things, man, they just, had a rough time. How do you feel about all that? Obviously, do you think it's always been a thing? You're always going to fight. There's, whether you're playing baseball, whether you're playing basketball, whether you're playing football, the three main sports, right? They're always, they allow you to punch each other in hockey. You watch hockey, they're going to go at it for a little while until somebody, gets knocked out or teeth get defined, then they finally break it up. I don't even know the rules of hockey. Maybe we'll get Ty Humbert to call in. He's a big hockey fan. Maybe he can tell us how that works. Like, when do they stop you from fighting in hockey? But then in basketball, you can't fight. You get technicals thrown out, fined, and then, so you can't really stop it. They're going to put their hands on each other. Do you think, let me ask you this. We talked to the coaches earlier. They talked about how the game has changed. We've had the head basketball coach, Coach Below from over at Gulf Coast. He's come in and we've talked about this in length before as well, that the game of basketball has gotten so physical. We heard Coach Green say earlier, it's almost like playing football, but on a basketball court. Yeah. Do you think that with the way they've allowed it, the referees have allowed it to be so physical that they've gotten away with doing so much stuff that it's really causing the fights? Is that why you think it's happening?
Absolutely.
So you would say, get back to the old way. No more hand checking. No more using your elbows. No pushing offs. Are we going to throw away the Euro step too while we're at it?
I don't like the whole walking all over the place and everything. My whistle would be in my mouth.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. But Isaiah Stewart, who was the one that was throwing the punches, he said...
Well, all of them were throwing punches. He said, kept going. It was on this side and it was on that side of the court.
Well, he said, you expect me to stay on the bench? This is what I was drafted for. That's what he said.
Oh, my God.
So, when you look at it that way, I just, I don't know. How do you feel about,
Suspend them.
So if they fight, you're suspended.
Yeah.
And then fine them, right?
Well, 4 guys were kicked out of that game? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I was like, come on, no.
A lot of times they try to push them out. A lot of times the coaches are trying to
those guys were intense, and they were grabbing, they were swinging. It was crazy.
I did see like 5 or 6 punches, and a couple of them landed. So nobody hit the deck, but I was just a little bit surprised about that.
Yeah. I think that they, golly, I'm going to sound bad on this one. They need mental health care. They need to be prepared. And there's a word that keeps on getting misused. And it's a thing that in certain environments, people getting disrespected. And it's a big thing. They have a different type of pride, and if they feel like they get knocked down or whatever, you're chipping away at my pride, and you can't do this and you can't do that, and it's pride is. I'm not about disrespecting people, but I think that there's certain things that they take a little too serious.
Well, let me just say this. So if you go on YouTube and you type in breaking ankles, or if you type in something in that regard about basketball, that's what people do. Like I've been at games before and they've been stopped because somebody shook somebody, they fell down on the ground and they shot a 3-pointer and they ran all over the floor because everybody's like, oh man, look at that, and it's like, it's just like crazy. And like even little kids right now, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to mimic that. And so they don't care, and I say they don't care, but there's so much emphasis on making somebody slip and fall and shooting over them or doing something and making fun that I feel like basketball is more like that one-on-one game, and it makes it to where it feels like that is why they get so worked up because oh, well, he made me fall. Everybody saw it. There's going to be a YouTube video that's going to get 5 million views. He's going to be sharing it on Instagram. He's going to be sharing it on Twitter. It's going to hit the market. Everybody's going to see him shaking me and breaking my ankles. You know what I mean? Because kids nowadays, you go out there to soccer, and they're saying, oh, break your ankles. You go out there to basketball, oh, I'm going to break your ankles. You go out there to football playing, oh, we're going to break your ankles. That's the thing. And so...
And it used to be dunking. posterizing somebody. That used to be the thing.
Yeah, and I mean that still happens, but this is
anybody can break ankles.
Yeah, this
Speed.
is and just quickness and all of that. So I mean, it's basketball. So you're in the camp of they need to pull back the fouls. They need to not make it so physical. It's so physical. I mean, go over and watch Gulf Coast play. It really is physical. If you go to the basket, you're going to get fouled in essence, but it may never get called.
So as a spectator, myself, when I was younger and all that, it's always been basically my number 2 sport to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but to play,
exciting.
But to play, it was not.
Yeah,
I definitely did not like the physicality. I didn't like the tic-tac. Well, I don't even say tic-tac fouls, but I didn't like the fouls that some people were getting away with. And, I was always going for all ball, and knocking the ball away. And I'll get called for a foul. I'm like, I didn't hit their hand. Are you watching? And at a lower level, you don't have the top-notch referees that can tell the difference from that,
Yeah.
All they see is the ball, getting moved,
Well, the NBA Board of Governors is likely to vote this summer expanding the league by 2 teams per Yahoo Sports. So Las Vegas and Seattle are considered the favorite cities. So we're going to be adding a basketball team two basketball teams to the NBA, one of them being in Las Vegas. And is it surprising to you that they're going to try Seattle again? I mean, they've already had the Supersonics. They didn't last. They moved them to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And now they're going to bring back the Seattle. I just wonder if they're going to call them the Supersonics or not.
Ooh, I think they will, because the Hornets are back, right?
Yeah.
Charlotte got their name back.
But they never left Charlotte. They were the Bobcats.
No. Wait.
Charlotte Bobcats were the Bobcats.
Yeah, what was time out. What? Why did the Pelicans change their name then? I thought they were giving the name back, but I guess it wasn't, huh? It was always the Bobcats, right?
They were the Bobcats, but now they back are the Hornets.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so that...
No, the Charlotte Hornets went to New Orleans, and they were New Orleans Hornets for like almost a decade, right? And then when the Bobcats came back, right, they got awarded the franchise. They asked for the name back.
Yep, and they got
it. And then Tom Benson, the owner of New Orleans Hornets, said, "Yeah, sure, we're not attached to the name all that big." And they gave the name back to Charlotte, and we became the Pelicans and all that.
So you agree that they're going to go back to Seattle Supersonics for sure?
Or just Sonics for short.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seattle Sonics.
I think they're going to do Supersonics. Supersonic sounds way better.
I think it's too wordy.
What's Sonics? Just a Sonic, like
Sonic sound. Sonic sound. The boom of the planes. The planes. It's Boeing's headquarters. Oh. You know the reason why they call it. Okay, just checking. Do you know? Okay, so here's trivia. You ready for it?
All right, give it to me.
Why is Charlotte the Hornets?
I have no idea.
Okay, so during colonial times, history lesson here.
Play the music.
Play the music.
He learned this whenever he was going visiting the library in Charlotte.
No, I did not even do that in Charlotte. No, the British were controlling during the colonial times, and one of the generals that was British, he said that these people are a hornet's nest of rebellion. And that was his exact quote. And so the Americans, who weren't Americans yet, they were just British subjects at the time, they liked it. And they took on that representation that they were feisty and they were against the British. And so, the Hornet stuck to the city of Charlotte's name, and they've been having it ever since. So this is like 1700s. That's how far it goes back.
Wow.
The Hornet's Nest of Rebellion.
Wow. Never knew that. So there you go. History.
And now you know the rest of the story.
That's right. That's right. By Jeffrey. We may have to do a segment on Now You Know from Jeffrey.
So, yeah, why is the Pelicans the Pelicans?
Because they are birds in Louisiana.
Notes. Is there going to be a test?
It was a minor league baseball team in the 70s in New Orleans called the Pelicans, and everybody liked it, and then they moved, and then they didn't have a minor league baseball team any longer, and they kept the name. They liked the name, so they gave it to the basketball team.
Wow, didn't know it. Got to get some NFL news going on. It finally was announced. Clint Kubiak is going to be the head football coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. We knew that coming in that was going to happen. That was the whole thing about waiting until after the Super Bowl. You like that hire? Do you think that's going to be a good one?
I do. I remember when he was holding the clipboard at the Broncos in the 90s behind Elway, and he definitely had insight, and he was definitely a strategist, analyst, and everything. And I feel like somebody who's got that kind of background, he's seen a lot. He's been in a lot of places, and I think it'll work.
I didn't realize he was with Elway because his dad was with Elway.
Oh, this is his son, huh?
This is the son.
Oh, wow.
So
is it really?
Yeah, this is his son.
Oh, my God. All these sons.
Yes.
Shanahan, Schottenheimer.
Yeah, so
goodness.
This is Kubiak. This is Gary Kubiak's son.
This is Gary Kubiak's son. It's true.
Yeah.
It's Gary.
Yeah, but Gary is his dad, and his dad is a part of it.
My God.
But he's
all these
also
legacies.
part of the Schottenheimer, or he's part of the Shanahan tree.
Shanahan tree, yeah.
And so with that being said, obviously now Super Bowl champion coming into a place, and then you got people like Max Crosby that has brought out statements saying that he is no longer going to be playing for the Raiders.
Oh, wow.
So with that,
he has a contract. He's got to get traded.
He's trying to get out of there. So I guess he's just tired of it, wanting to do something different.
Well, he doesn't see a future.
Well, I mean,
and it's all about ownership. Ponying up the money, making the right moves, and I'm not saying it's on Brady. It's not, because there's so many other owners.
Well,
than just him.
Davis, Al Davis's son is the owner now, and Stephen Davis. So that's really where it's got to come. So I don't know. Do you like Brady having Mendoza? Because obviously that's going to be the number one pick. Mendoza's not throwing at the combine.
Yeah.
He is going to throw at his pro day. But realistically, are people signing people when they? Just because they're throwing the ball with nobody rushing.
Not the number one pick.
I get the combine.
But later on.
I get the combine's important. I get, it has tangible stuff in there and all that. But realistically, Francisco Mendoza is going to be the number one pick. This is as clear-cut a number one pick as maybe the last time was, I don't know, Caleb Williams. I think he was probably going to be the number one pick.
Yeah, there's been a few surprises, but not very often.
Yeah, so,
Mario Williams, I think, was the shocker.
Yeah.
When he went.
I almost said Trevor Lawrence because everybody knew that he was going to go first because people wasn't sure. It was a shocker for Baker. It was a shocker for Bryce Young, and those guys. So, that's really the thing. You know what's not shocking? Recommended Collision Center. They will get your stuff taken care of. If your vehicle has any problems, whether it's a mirror, whether it's a door, whether it's a glass, whether it's a regulator not working right, we're about to hit the springtime. What does springtime mean? Windows down, radio stations up, bumping the music, riding down through the beach, ready to go. So maybe your window doesn't go all the way down, or maybe it doesn't go down fast enough. You need to go see those guys at Recommended Collision Center. They're on Jinx Avenue. Brandon and those guys do a great job. They take care of your vehicle. They get it back in tip-top shape, and you will not be disappointed. And also, don't forget, our microphone sponsor of the week is Humbert Diesel and Auto Repair. Over there in Lynn Haven, if your diesel is needing some repair, or maybe it's doing stuff you don't know what it's doing, and you need the professionals to look at it, Humbert Diesel and Auto Repair are the ones. He said, your pride, your ride, our pride. So there you go.
You know what? If you mention LSU Jeff sent you over to Recommended Collision, they won't give you an Alabama flag.
That's true. And they won't do it at Humbert Diesel either. They will not give an Alabama flag for sure. But either way, go see both of those great local legendary businesses. They will take care of you. When we come back, we've got some college football news that we need to break to you. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call in now.
This is Touchstone Service.
The Red 70 studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. It's The Coach James Hale
The
Show.
SEC and Big Ten make so much more money than everybody else.
They do. It's unbelievable.
Over $1 billion. And I think the Big Ten was more. They hadn't came out with theirs yet. This just
I don't know. We're going to have a real big bake sale. Okay. We need $437 million. Can you help us out? Buy a cookie?
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Discover the new Kia. Stop by Bill Bird Kia today and test drive the all-new 2026 Kia, where comfort, safety, and technology come together like never before. Explore the new 2026 SUV family that moves you and drive away in a new 2026 Seltos, Sportage, or Sorento that are built to inspire every journey. Craving performance? Feel the thrill in the luxurious 2026 Kia K5 sedan, crafted for power, style, and you. And for innovation that sparks excitement, check out the 2026 all-electric Kia EV9, a modern masterpiece that's fast-charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. It's the peace of mind that you can trust. Visit us at 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or online at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. Bill Bird Kia, your local community dealer. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for details.
And now the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host, Paul Wilson.
Fresh new start.
Locally sourced, farm to radio. The Sports Blitz.
We're starting fresh.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your place for college basketball, Orlando Magic basketball. Shoot, if Jeff had a goal outside, we'd play his basketball. But either way, we're so glad to have you today joining us. Don't forget, if you want to call in and be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290. We've got Jeffrey in the building. Bone Crusher's here, crushing the ones and the twos. You know, we got to talk about a little bit of college football. Definitely some news that come across the spectrum, and I'd like to see how you feel about this. Obviously, this is not the first time this has happened, but North Dakota State has agreed to a deal to join the Mountain West in football only for the 2026 season. The school is expected to pay nearly $12 million to join the league, in addition to the $5 million it will pay the NCAA to transition to the FBS. What do you think about that?
You know, these smaller schools, they I don't know if you, going way back, Valdosta State in Georgia, you know, dominated. Youngstown State dominated. Appalachian State did pretty good.
Yep.
And they all, well, not all of them moved up, huh?
JMU?
Just Appalachian. JMU did not dominate. They only won 2 titles. It was not a big thing.
2 titles is a big thing.
2 titles is not a big thing. Not when you talk about Youngstown State and Valdosta State, and then now North Dakota State. I don't remember what the number is, if it's like 11 in the last 15. They've completely taken over the FCS level.
They have.
The Bison have.
Yeah, they've been in almost every championship in the last 10 years for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. They missed a couple recently, but, I mean, they completely dominated. And the Mountain West is kind of on its last leg because the Pac-12 is trying to get back to 12 again, and it just hasn't happened yet. They've got a long way to go. I mean, these players have to not only be bigger, but they need to be faster. And they're not going to take over that conference initially. First year, they can't win their conference. Well, they can win their conference. They can't go to the conference championship, and they can't go to a bowl. That's how the requirements work. And, I mean, they have a bit of a history, but...
Well, and you look at it, JMU, which was James Madison, they did the same thing. They got into the Sun Belt, but their first year in the Sun Belt, they went undefeated and won the conference, but couldn't play in the conference championship and then couldn't play in a bowl game either.
Yeah.
But that was amazing. And then now they made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are we about to see the Bisons come in to FBS and come try to take over the Mountain West?
Well, the Mountain West has been depleted because the Pac-12 has taken all the teams. And now they're the Pac-9.
Yeah. Well, if the Bisons do good enough, possibly going to join the Pac-12. We're going to speak that into existence already.
Let's not jump ahead.
You're saying slow your roll. You don't see them happening.
No, absolutely not.
I know a lot of people like that style of football, but it is a step down from FBS. Like, let's just be honest. You go watch the FCS, there's some good players. I mean, look at Trinidad Chambliss coming back and, playing from Division II, coming in and dominating like he did. But then, you've got these other players as well. I mean, Carson Wentz came from there, Trey Lance came from there, and several players have come from the FCS and come out and done well, but they're not the same, right? Unless they're going to be able to compete with money.
I don't think Trey Lance, though, came from that level. But anyway, I get what you're saying.
Trey Lance came from North Dakota State. No.
Oh, I thought it was Utah State.
Nope.
Someone else then. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm on.
Jordan Love.
Oh, Jordan Love. That's what it was. Yeah.
Well,
these oddball teams.
Because we love the college football, I want to ask you, I saw the 2025 attendance percentage for each SEC school. And who would you think would be number one that overachieved in their attendance for their football games? And let's just say there's two that overachieved and filled up their stadium over capacity.
Over capacity.
Who would you say this year?
I'm going to go with Georgia.
Nope, Georgia was 100%.
So somebody's like 103?
104.
Oh, my God.
Two teams are
okay, so that's just overbooking your place.
But
this is crazy.
But you got to put it in context. Think about the teams. Think about their size of their stadiums, and that's the way it goes.
It's probably Ole Miss then.
It is Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Ole Miss and Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, okay.
Yep, and then Texas A&M, they filled up their stadium, which is the largest stadium, at 103%.
Wait a minute. Texas A&M has the largest stadium in the nation?
In the SEC, I thought.
Oh, no. No, Tennessee and LSU.
That's right, Tennessee
and LSU.
I didn't know LSU.
LSU has 104,000?
I'll have to check.
Yeah, I don't think Kyle Field is probably right behind it. It might have passed it up. I don't know. So they always do renovations. So
let me ask you this: if you could give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 schools in the SEC that did not hit 100%, who would they be?
South Carolina.
South Carolina actually was 102%.
Wow, that's some support there.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, God.
I can't believe you went with them first, but keep going.
No, that's 100%, I thought, because they had such a disappointing year. I hate to say Florida Gators. No, I'm not going to say Florida Gators. Missouri?
Missouri was at 92%. Yeah, so they were a part of it. They wasn't the lowest, though.
Okay. Well, it ain't Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt was the lowest at 86%.
How in the world?
Yes.
Oh, y'all should be ashamed. Oh, little brother. Oh, come on, man.
Yep.
There's just no way. They're so poor, they don't have any money to buy tickets. What in the world?
Yeah.
Are they're too smart for football or something? I don't know. Too many head injuries going on.
Yes.
That is appalling. How do you have the best season in the history of your 86%?
And you were,
kick them out.
You were the lowest.
Kick them out.
They were the lowest out of all the SEC schools in attendance as far as filling up their stadium. 86%.
Let's just do basketball, baseball only for that school in the SEC.
I mean, Diego Pavia's leaving, so what else you got?
They are not going to be back, you know? Oh, God.
I ruined your day. All right, give me the last 3. Come on. 4.
What do you mean? Wait, what's that?
Who are the other ones?
Who are the other ones below it?
No,
so
the lowest was 86, and that was Vanderbilt.
Okay.
So now you got to go up.
I got to go up. So there's 3 in between Missouri and Vanderbilt, is what you're saying.
There's 2 in between them. Yep.
Florida Gators.
Florida Gators is 101% capacity. So
that's
there
you
go. Yep.
It's definitely not Texas.
Nope, 102%.
Yeah,
Texas.
definitely not them. Kentucky.
Kentucky is at 94%. So yeah, they were ahead of Missouri, but you still got 2 that's tied and below Missouri.
It's got to be Mississippi State.
Mississippi State is next to Vanderbilt at 88%.
In such a small stadium, they should be. I don't know, man. That's just disappointing.
Yeah,
disappointing. And you know, other schools, they thought that they had lofty goals, and like Auburn finished 5-7. But guess what they do? Fill the seats.
Yeah, they were 100% capacity for the whole year. Alabama was 100% and Georgia was 100%.
Because they don't sell tickets they don't have. Row ZZ 109,
right.
Come on.
Standing on the sideline by the hedges is what we want to do. So come on, give me the last couple. You got 3 more or 2 more to end it up. No, you got 3 more.
That are below 100%?
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Did you say UK?
Yeah, Kentucky.
Yeah, so they're 94. Okay, so you got 2 more that are under 100.
Oh, goodness. It's not Tennessee.
Nope, they're at 100%.
Yeah. I'll go with Texas. What the heck?
No, they're 100%. You're already 102%.
Who else we got? I think I've named everybody.
You've named everybody, but you're...
Alabama?
Alabama's 100%.
Yeah.
Bone Crusher, we're about to take...
Who did I miss?
We're about to take away his moniker name.
I've got LSU.
LSU is in under 100% at 99%.
Okay.
And don't forget your little brother... Arkansas, 92%.
Arkansas. I did forget Arkansas. That's right.
So everybody except for LSU, UK, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Vandy all were below 100% in seating of their ticket sales. Is that surprising that LSU was there? That's really the reason why I did this, so that I could ask you that question.
Well, 99%.
Yeah, but that's still, so that means that one week it's 100%. It just shows you that, that LSU is not filling up their seats whenever it's teams that don't matter. Or did the love for LSU leave because maybe they went at 103, 104, 103, 102, and then 88, 89, 90, 95, 99?
You want to hear how much of a snob and entitled I think I am?
Yeah, let me hear it.
So there's an upper level that's been there, okay? And I don't know if it was built in the 70s or 60s or whenever it was built. I sat up there one time. I will never sit up there again. Then they built another second level on the other side of the stadium. I won't sit up there either. I will not pay that much money to sit way up there like that. It's not entertaining. I'd rather watch it at home.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about the big stadiums. I'm hoping with the way they are constructing the newer stadiums that they're making all of the seats at least sittable. And that's the thing about Kentucky. Like, you've been there, I've been there.
Yeah.
Even though they don't fill it up every time, it's a good, like, every seat, even the higher seats, you still get a good seat. It's still close to the field. You can still see it.
Yes.
It's loud. It can get loud.
Yeah.
It can move and all that. So, I mean, I'm proud of that as far as, because my son still goes to UK, and I'm proud that I was able, when we were there, we went to all of his football games. And that was a deal, is like, when we first went, we tried to get on, as close as we could, and then we got tickets one time that were kind of like up in the top level, but it was in the front of the top level. And then I was like, man, these seats are actually really good. This is not bad at all. So that really is a good spot about going to the SEC game. You think really that with Lane Kiffin coming, that they're going to be the number one tickets?
No, because they don't oversell their stadium.
You don't think they will?
And when it goes over,
they're going to oversell it
when they do standing room only, it's like 100, maybe 400 extra tickets that people don't have seats. They don't do oversell like that at LSU. Yeah. I remember when we broke records like year after year after year, it was always like 200 or 300 over what the capacity was. And I always thought, well, how can you even do that? They're selling tickets to people who don't have seats. And I'm not against that if you can stand the whole game, and when you're young, you can do that. I mean, Texas A&M makes their freshmen do it. Yeah. Kyle Field. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they should have an area kind of like what the Jaguars have, where there's like the underneath behind the
end zone?
The end zone behind the goal post.
The Raiders have a hot tub?
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying that. Don't put college kids in a hot tub. There's no telling what could happen with that.
We didn't even talk about the streaker.
I know, right? Was that you?
It was. It was me.
I thought it was you. You look like the guy. No. But they should have
have those like for the kids if they want to extend the ticket sales, because I think that would be really good for places like LSU where you don't want to oversell the tickets because you get all those Cajuns mad and hot and busted up together, spitting their crawfish juice out at each other.
So Lane Kiffin goes to Ole Miss next year. How much stuff is going to be thrown? Because they're going to throw stuff.
You think they're going to throw in the field like they did?
Oh, are you
at
kidding
Tennessee?
me? This tradition has not ended. They will extend that. Lane Kiffin is a marked man.
Do you think it's going to be a loud?
There will be mustard.
It's going to be a primetime game first. It don't matter what the records are either, right?
6:30 kickoff. They're going to throw mustard. Guaranteed.
No golf balls, though, right?
Now you're placing it in somebody's head.
So let me ask you this real quick. We only have about 30 seconds left. If they do that to him when they have to come to LSU the following year, do you think they're going to throw anything at Pete Golden?
No, they won't. No.
What?
He's safe.
Oh, my gosh. You've heard it here. We appreciate you listening today. You've listened to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. We will be back tomorrow. We got some interesting stuff going on that's coming down the pike. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Auburn Vandy coming on next.
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking it to the hole. Your home for the most live college basketball on the Gulf Coast. The ACC, SEC, and the biggest games in the country. Plus the official station of March Madness.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
Hear every slam dunk in ultra-high fidelity right here.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Tuesday. For tonight, slight fog and a low of 60 with a light breeze around 6 miles per hour out of the south-southwest. Tomorrow morning, slight fog and mostly clouds with temps around 68. In the afternoon and evening, partly sunny and slightly foggy and a temperature near 69. Moving into Thursday, about the same with a high of 67 and slightly foggy. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you ready for another historic season at the bank? It's time to lock in your seats for 2026 by placing your deposit now. Next season will be played at Everbank Stadium, but seating capacity is limited due to in-bowl renovations, and spots are going fast. Don't miss out on your chance to see the season's biggest matchups and highlight real moments by placing your deposit at Jaguars.com/tickets or by calling 904-633-2000. Go Jags!
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose, hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, the best place in town to take a leak.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.